You're listening to the Tide Nation podcast, sponsored by Anchor, with your host, Adam Raymer, your source for Alabama football. Roll Tide.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Tide Nation podcast, hosted by me, Adam Raymer. I hope you all are doing well and safe. And on today's episode, we are going to go over the national championship game, then kind of go over the football season in general, and get to some social media questions. So, Tide Nation, get pumped. Let's get it. All right, national championship game. 18th for Alabama. Big win, guys. I mean, Bama obviously won that game 52-24, again to win their 18th title. Pretty complete game, I thought, by Alabama. The offense obviously was outstanding again. Defense played pretty good, and we'll touch on that, both sides of the ball here in just a little bit. But after the first quarter, to me, it was 7-7, first quarter. And I thought, okay, got up 14-7, Mac fumbled. They went down the field, scored, made it 14-14. And second quarter comes along pretty much, like I said, it was 7-7 first quarter. Second quarter, Bama just went off. I mean, scored 28 points. In the second quarter, 35-17 at halftime. Bama never looked back. Game was out of reach. Again, 52-24. Mac Jones, 36 for 45 for 464 and 5. Most passing yards in a college football playoff championship. I think he needed one more. I think he tied Burrow with 5 touchdowns, so he needed another one to break that record. But Najee, 22 carries, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 7 receptions for 79 yards and a touchdown. Pretty complete game for him, obviously. Didn't run the ball as well as he normally does. That front seven for Ohio State did a pretty good job of keeping him contained. But nonetheless, he managed to do it in the passing game again, too. So, and Devontae, of course, he had 12 receptions for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns in one half of football. So, the three-headed monster, which I always go over, obviously, a pretty solid game. A couple of key things here for me was on offense. We had 621 yards of total offense, and OSU had 341. So it wasn't even close, guys. I mean, we hoped for that. We hoped that Justin Fields wouldn't go off. We hoped that Trey Sermon wouldn't go off. And prayers to Trey Sermon. Hope everything's okay. I never want to see anybody get hurt, even though I'm not rooting for that team. Never want to see anybody get hurt. So prayers go up to him. Hopefully everything's all right. So that obviously was a big thing. And the time of possession. Bama had it for 37 and a half minutes, roughly, and Ohio State had it for 22 and a half, which, to me, is not a shocker, but Alabama this season kind of scores quick, and then the defense comes on the field. There's been games I know that we've controlled the time of possession, but it doesn't take us long to score on offense. And this game, we kind of methodically, I wouldn't say slowed down, we just controlled the clock a little bit more, and we still scored our 50 points. But that time of possession was huge because we limited Justin Fields and that offense to do what they do, which is also a very high-powered offense. They've been really streaky, though. Like I said before, in previous podcasts, I said that I hope that we get the Northwestern Justin Fields and not the Clemson game Justin Fields. And I think we did. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he was still hurting, uh, if he just wasn't mentally prepared. I don't know. Um, but thank the heavens because that guy's good, man. I got to give credit to him. Give credit where credit's due. That guy can sling a football, and he can run too when he needs to. So, like I said, that time of possession was key for Alabama to kind of, like I said, keep Justin Fields off the field and give our offense, chances to kind of slow the game down and still score our points that we needed. So, defense played well, guys. I thought they played. I'm not gonna say their best, but they did pretty darn good. Christian Barmore, to me, again, was just all over the place. That kid really was a stud this year. His name wasn't brought up a whole lot, but he had a he was very impactful. That fourth down play when he stopped him, he got a penalty, I think, later on that. But just big time plays from Barmore in that defense. The biggest thing to me, like I said, was even though we did control um, the time of possession in the game, the big thing for me was we contained Justin Fields about as good as anybody has in their 7 games. I think. I mean, he only had 194 yards passing, so 17 to 33 for 194 and a touchdown. And then he had, I think, 6 rushes for about 65, 67 yards, somewhere in there. That was a big thing for our defense, was to contain him and Trey Sermon. And obviously, Trey Sermon didn't, he played one possession and I didn't even look today, to be honest, but, he one play and he went out. It looked like it was a collarbone issue, shoulder, something. And again, prayers to him. So, you know, with that defense stepping up and kind of controlling what Justin Fields did, I mean, he still got some chunk plays. They got some touchdown pass, one touchdown pass from him. Um, Chris Olave had, I don't know, eight for 69. Tight ends had a couple. I mean, it just wasn't enough. And like I said before, and I said in my prediction, that Ohio State just wasn't going to be able to score as much as us. And I said our defense is going to make some key stops. And that's what happened. Our defense stepped up. Our defense got a couple of sacks, some tackles for losses, some pass deflections. Uh, they played really well. Um, I want to talk about Sark in this game too, because things could have gone badly wrong with Sark coaching. Everybody knows he's the new head coach at Texas now, but in that game, it could have went 2 ways, and we've had this happen all the time to us where coaches aren't mentally prepared and they're not really in it to win it. And man, Sarkisian called a hell of a game, probably one of the best ones he's called all season. Just everything, all the play calls he had, everything was working. It was just, like I said, I hate to see him leave, but I think, Texas is a good job for him. The man's got his life in order now, and I think he's a hell of an offensive coach. I think he's going to be great at Texas. They want to win there, and I think he'll be able to do that. But in this game, guys, he called a great game for us, and he went out in Alabama as a champion. So I just want to touch on that. I mean, he's been a blessing to our offense, and whoever fills that, which rumors are, it's going to be Bill O'Brien, and I don't know how I feel about that. Some people have asked me on Twitter, and I think I like Bill O'Brien as an offensive coordinator. I think he would be good. I think in the Saban rehabilitation program. Uh, I think he'd be all right, and I trust whatever Nick Saban wants to do. Um, I've learned over the years to just trust the goat, and whatever he says is is right. I mean, for God's sakes, the man has won 7 national titles. He's the GOAT for a reason. Um, so, yeah, great overall win. I mean, we couldn't have asked for more than what happened. Um, a 52-24 win to get number 18 for us. The guys stuck to the game plans um, and pulled out a victory. So, like I said, there wasn't much else that we could have done defensively to stop them, and offensively, guys, it was just same old Bama from this season. And like I said, we're going to talk about a lot of that coming up. But yeah, great overall win. Love it. I was pumped up. I lost my voice. I put that on Twitter. I was screaming. So great job. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, guys, I'm going to talk about the year and the players and what this team did this year. So we will be right back.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. And I got a couple of reasons why. Number one, hey, it's free, guys. It doesn't cost you a dime. Also, there's a creation tool there. It allows you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Everybody's on their phones and computers all day long. It's awesome. Hey, they'll also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more options. You can make money from this, guys, from your podcast. No minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Hey, so guys, if you really want to start doing this, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, so I want to talk about some things that happened this season, 2020 season in review. So I've heard some things. Greatest team ever. Last year's LSU team was supposedly the greatest team ever. You can go back to like the Miami Hurricanes of '02. Greatest team ever. Here's why I'm going to say that this team is probably the greatest team ever. And like I said, I am biased to Alabama, but I truly believe this, and I think other people do too. I truly believe, we had this was a weird year, guys, for not just sports, just in general. 2020 was a weird year. It was a horrible year for some, well, for all. I mean, just everything that happened with COVID, and we didn't know if we were even going to have a season. Um, the SEC kind of was the light at the end of the tunnel that said we're going to play, and we're going to play all of our games, and what are we going to do to be safe? And that's what they did. ACC played a full, I think they might have missed some games. I mean, everybody missed some games. I mean, with everything that happened with COVID was just insane. Um, and for the college football committee to, everybody, the athletic directors to pull this season off, hats off to everybody. But back to why this is the greatest team ever. One, they played the toughest schedule. They played an all SEC schedule. They went 10-0. They beat Florida in the SEC championship game, and then obviously they beat Notre Dame and Ohio State, who are presumably, obviously, deserve to be in the top 4, and it wasn't even close. In the schedule, we didn't play funk teams. We didn't play South Carolina or Vanderbilt, which were the two worst teams in the SEC this year. We did not play them. We played everybody else. Now, whatever you think about the SEC, down here, whatever, I don't care. It's still the SEC. We still won technically 11 games. So that's point one. Point two, their average margin of victory is 30 points per game. After that LSU game, the average scores, if you take it all, it was 49-19. So I don't know what else to say on that. You know, who has done that? I mean, LSU, LSU almost lost a couple times last year. I mean, technically Alabama, that Ole Miss stuff came down to a couple last possessions, and Florida, Florida technically had a chance, but they would have had to go 90 yards and with what 10 seconds. I mean, it was something crazy. And then obviously Christian Harris sacked the hell out of Kyle Trask to end their hopes. But like I said, this average margin of victory of 30 points per game it's just insane and unheard of. You throw in the individual awards that they won, the team awards that they've won. They've made the college football playoff, and they won the national championship. So you lump all of that stuff together, and you look at what that team did this year in a year that I understand there wasn't many fans, and I've heard this too, that, if there were fans in some of those games, they might have made Mac Jones make a few bad passes and things could have went the other team's way. That is 100% true. I agree with that. I don't know if it would have happened, but it's a valid point. I still don't think it would have mattered. I think that they were on a mission this year. I think with the coaching staff that they had and the players that were on this team, and I want to say too, we didn't have anybody out for COVID, but we lost the probably, I mean, not probably, he is the second best, obviously, receiver on our team in that Tennessee game. And it was like we didn't miss a beat. We had people step up. John Mechie stepped up. Billingsley stepped up. So, and obviously Devontae just did what Devontae did. But overall, from this whole season, what everybody, that body of work right there, with COVID, the toughest schedule that anybody's played, nobody will probably do that again. The average margin of victory, and just the simple fact of all the individual and team awards, they made the playoff and they won the national championship. I mean, to me, yes, this is probably the greatest team in football ever. It's damn sure Nick Saban's greatest team. It's damn sure the greatest team in the SEC ever, I think. It might be a stretch to say in college football history, but that's my belief, and I think some other people believe that too. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to touch on some players that I think. I'm going to start at the top with Mac Jones. Nobody saw this kid. If you did, more power to you. I've stated this a lot. I was wrong about Mac Jones. I thought Bryce Young was probably going to beat him out and be the starter this year. Again, I was wrong. Mac Jones deserved to lead this team. He showed why. I think he thrived in a Steve Sarkisian offense. And obviously he has playmakers around him, but still, that guy has to make the throws. I mean, he's had the, highest QBR rating ever, pass percentage. He threw for 4,500 yards and 41 touchdowns. The kid cemented himself in Alabama history, in college football history. And if he's not a first-round pick, he will be a second-round pick. And I truly believe that. The kid, where he's separated at is his accuracy and receivers have to catch the ball. But the thing about his accuracy is that he puts it to where the receiver doesn't have to move. He hits him in stride. He is pinpoint accurate and knows where to put that football for his receivers. It's just incredible what he's done. He sat his time out. He sat behind Tua and the other guys, waited his turn, come in, and he's a night and day quarterback from last year to this season. Not that he was bad last year because he did great. Uh, it's just a different. He's just on a different level this year. So hate to see him go. Hell, he might not go. I don't know, but if it was me, I'd be leaving too if I was projected first or second round. So um, great job by Mac Jones this year. Najee Harris. There's not much to say. The kid came back for his senior year. Everybody's grateful that he did. Set records. He likes to hurdle everybody. Um, he was probably on highlight videos galore with some of those hurdles that he did. And he's just a good, down to earth kid, too. Um, I remember when they recruited him and he signed, what it was like, I just got on a plane and came. Um, that guy is shifty. He's quick. He's not fast. He's quick. He moves well laterally. He's like a Derrick Henry, not as thick, and I think he moves a little bit better laterally than Derrick. Derrick will just mow you over, and Najee will too. But I think he's a freaking steal for somebody if he doesn't go in the first round, which I don't know if he will, but whoever lands him is going to have a great player in the NFL draft. So um, Malachi Moore, true freshman. He obviously didn't play in these last couple games with a back injury. But that kid, I saw this today that ESPN put out. Um, he is listed as Alabama's breakout player. And if anybody watches Alabama football, you know why. The kid's a stud. He'll be able to probably be a decent leader for us next year because Patrick Surtain's going to be gone and Josh Jobe maybe. Um, so we're going to be really young back there in that secondary, which we are this year too. So Malachi Moore he's a different kind of breed at that position. He can move anywhere. To me, he's like Minka Fitzpatrick. Um, he can play any position in that back, and he can play corner, nickel. He can play star. He can do anything back there, and that's something to be said in a defensive player like that when you're that versatile at such a young age too. Um, the kid's incredible. Um, Will Anderson, another freshman who plays linebacker, who led the SEC in sacks until I think Barmore took him over. Um, but that kid was freaking incredible this year. Um, so happy that he plays for us. He's a he's a Hoss kid, fast, really fast for a linebacker, and just really intelligent. I think that his future is bright for us. And with Moses being gone, he's probably going to be the man there to be that leader. So Christian Barmore, I really touched on him already. He's only a sophomore too, guys. So I mean, my God, that defense. Our defense got criticized a lot this year, but they still did. They played great. They gave up some big chunk plays. I think we got to work on that, but they Christian Barmore was just outstanding, especially in that championship game. Um, he's obviously going to come back. He'll be a good leader on that line as well. Just a great player. Um, I left two for last here, and I did it for a reason. One is Devontae Smith. He is, in my mind, he's the greatest receiver ever at Alabama. I mean, he is statistically. Um, Julio Jones kind of changed that culture of wide receivers at Alabama. And then obviously people followed with Ridley and Amari Cooper and Judy and Ruggs and Devontae and Waddle and all that. So, but he is by far, to me, the best receiver there is in college football. Um, what that kid has meant to this team, how he came back like Najee did for his senior year. They said they want to come back and win a championship. He was last year ranked lower than Judy and Ruggs, and nothing against them. I don't know why, but nothing against them. But I believe that that's wrong. I think he should have been above both of them. And maybe he proved that this year now. He is unfreaking guardable in college football. And I don't know if he's going to be like that in the NFL. But that man, it doesn't matter where on the field he is, he's going to get his no matter what. Watch him if you haven't. This kid is, like I said, he's unbelievable. He's not big. He's probably what 6 foot 6'1" and 175 pounds. But guys, I'm telling you, for what he's done, again, best receiver by far to me in Alabama history, in college and SEC, whatever you want to say. He's the best, and he's going to be a first round draft pick. And my last player that I'm gonna name, and there's tons of them. I'm sorry if I didn't get to some of yours that you think, but is Landon frickin' Dickerson. That dude is the heart and soul of, he's the heart and soul of the offensive line, but I think he's the heart and soul of that locker room. That guy, he transferred out of Florida State, come over to us. I think he was hurt a lot over there, so I think that's maybe why he didn't get his playing time when he was all right. But thank God he came, because that guy is a bona fide stud. He's born to be a leader. He is a big country boy. He's a hoss of a human being too. He's like 6'5", 6'6", 330 pounds. Premier center in the league. I think he's going to be a great NFL player. But what he's meant to this team also, as all these other kids have, is the heart and dedication that he showed for this team, the just the leadership. He just proved to be a winner, and we couldn't ask for more from him. So it was also pretty cool to see him come in at the end of the game and take those final 2 snaps. Chris Owens hugged him, slapped him on the head. Everybody on the O-line pretty much hugged him when he came in. Just an awesome way to end his career. I know he's hurt, but awesome thing. And last is obviously it's Coach Saban. What that man has done and what he's meant to Tuscaloosa, and not just Tuscaloosa, but to Alabama fans everywhere across this world. He's the GOAT for a reason. He is, he has 7 national championships, 6 with us and 1 with LSU, but overtook Bear Bryant. And like I said, it's unreal what he can do year after year after year. We reload and we reload and we reload every single year. And, people come to Alabama to win championships and get drafted. And that's what he does for them. He looks out for their future. And we can all respect him and love him for what he does for Alabama football. So thank you, Coach. And we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to end up with looking at some of these social media questions. So we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to get in just a couple of social media questions that I got sent in to me. We're going to wrap this episode up. Next episode is going to be cover some Bama basketball. So we're going to start covering that as well. So first, Tim Elliott sent me something. He said it's not really a question, but he wanted me to talk about Brian Robinson and what he meant to this team. And This is what I think, Tim. I think Ryan Robinson's a bona fide star. I think he is perfectly capable of being a leader next year for us with a young group of guys that we have. The problem is, I don't know if he's going to stay, whether it's try to enter the draft or he's going to transfer out. I don't know. I just got a feeling like he's not going to be here, and I don't know why that I got that feeling. He'd probably be the featured back, but that guy does mean a lot to everybody. The way that he runs straight downhill, very aggressive. He's quick too. He doesn't give up on plays. The kid's just downright tough. But yeah, if he wherever he goes, if he transfers to somewhere else, he's going to be a star there as well. Um, I hope he stays with us. Like I said, we got some loaded talent in the backfield. You get Trey Sanders back. You got McClellan. You've got Williams. I mean, there's plenty of guys. We don't have that prototypical big back like Robinson and Najee are. If Robinson leaves, but you are right, Tim. He is he would be a stud anywhere he went. Um, I don't. Like I said, I just got a feeling for some reason that he's not going to be there next year. I don't know why. Don't hold me accountable to that, but that's what I believe. So good thought on B Rob. Keen Hosier, he asked me about a couple of things. It was more injury related questions. So, will Devontae's injury require surgery? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a dislocated finger, so I don't think it's going to need surgery. I don't think they could get it back in for some reason. I don't know why. Usually when you're in the tent, you just go get it popped in. He probably would have been okay. Um, I don't know if you guys seen the video on that, but you need to go watch what Nick Saban talked to Smitty about when after the game about that. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I don't think he's going to need surgery. I think he's going to be okay. He'll be ready, primed and ready for the NFL. So, and your other question was Waddle was limping badly. Did he set himself back any? Um, yeah, he was limping. He was limping before the game. Um, I don't know if he should have went out or not. I think give that kid some heart or some. He's got some heart to want to be out there for his team, but I don't. I don't know if he necessarily helped himself. I mean, he had 3 catches for 34 yards. There, some of those, I mean, were big catches. 2 of them were for sure. Um, but he might have been set back a little bit now, but he's going to be all right. I think he's going to be fine for the draft too. Um, he'll probably participate in the combine, which I don't know how they're going to do that this year. What's going on with the combine? But yeah, I mean, good questions. Again, Devontae, I don't think he's going to need surgery, and Waddle, I think he just wanted to play, man, to be out there for his team, and could contribute whenever he had to. But yeah, he's going to be okay. Like I said, he's not going to need surgery again. He didn't hurt it that bad. I think what happens is, I mean, he broke his ankle, so I mean, it's stiff. He can get some mobility back in it. He hasn't really, he's only been practicing for what, a week now. When that game went on, so he'll be okay. But yeah, that's what we got. So great season this season, guys. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed covering them on this podcast. Like I said, we're going to switch to basketball probably, and I think baseball season is going to be full swing too. And then we're not going to shy away. We'll have some recruiting things and um, other stuff to talk about football wise to go over. So, man, I appreciate all of you. I just want you guys to know that it's been fun. This is an eye-opening experience for me, and I really appreciate all the love and support that you guys have showed me. So, again, please remember to review this, share it, subscribe. We're on YouTube now, Tide Nation. Just search for it. And then obviously on any streaming site that you guys can listen to your podcasts. And you guys, please follow us on Twitter as well, at Adam Raymer11, or just search Tide Nation and you'll find us on there as well. So, hey guys, we'll get another episode out this week. Covering basketball, what they've been doing. So, Tide Nation, roll Tide.